We finished step 9, now we're on page 84 where it begins step 10. It says, instructions on how to live. This thought brings us to step 10, which suggests we continue to take personal inventory and continue to set right any mistakes. Steps 1 through 9. As we go along, we vigorously commence this way as step 1 through 9 of living as we cleaned up the past. And are we doing this regularly? We have entered the world of the Spirit. Our next function is to grow in understanding and effectiveness, or to see we can help others, both in taking folks through the book, Alcoholics, and in our life everywhere, in family and work and home. This is not an overnight matter. It should continue for our lifetime. Continue to watch for selfishness, dishonesty, resentment, and fear. So there's 4 columns. Process of staying awake is we look for these, and there are these we write the inventory. When these crop up, I ask God at once to remove them. I discuss them with someone immediately and make amends quickly if I have harmed anyone. Tools for turning to God are this end of this paragraph. So the tools for turning to God is discuss problems at once immediately and make amends quickly if I harm anyone. Then I resolutely, with determination is what resolute means, turn our thoughts to someone I can help. Maybe taking you back to the book, maybe help someone at work or at home. Love and tolerance of others is our code. It's a hard code to live by, but it stops my selfish thinking with the selfish lifestyle. We have ceased fighting anything or anyone, even alcohol. For by this time, sanity will have returned. We will seldom be interested in liquor. This is the 10th step promise. If tempted, we recoil from it as if it were a hot flame. My experience with this is in college, sober. Went to a bar, sober. Talking to a girl, sober, who was drinking vodka, and I had water right next to it. And I accidentally picked up her vodka. It was in the same style of cup, and I spit it out all over her. And didn't mean to, but certainly didn't talk too much to her. So that's the 10th step promise, is you recoil from alcohol as if it's a hot flame. Smell it or taste it, and I could go hell away, because I know that phenomenon is fixing. We react to it sanely and normally, to liquor it is, and we find that this has happened automatically. You will see our new attitude toward liquor has been given us without any thought or effort on our part. It just comes. That is the miracle of it. We are not fighting it. Neither are we avoiding temptation. We feel as though we had been placed in a position of neutrality, safe and protected. And that, describes, again, the process, the top of page 43 and also page 57 at the top. Neutrality, safe and protected. We have not sworn off and said the problem has been removed, the alcohol problem. It does not exist for us. We are neither cocky nor are we afraid. That is our experience. That is how we react so long as we keep in fixed spiritual condition. And the 10th step, this paragraph shows the many of these steps 3 to 9. It is easy to let up on the spiritual program of action, which is step 3 to 9. Because of our previous accomplishments, it's easy to let up on the program of action and rest on our laurels or previous accomplishments. We are headed for trouble if we do, for alcohol is dead as suffering fit. We are not cured of alcoholism, and that's for sure. It's progressed with fatal disease, so it's progressed. What we really have in the daily retreat, contingent on the maintenance of our spiritual condition. Every day, and best serve thee? Is the prayer, right? When I want to find out who the service God is every day, I say this prayer. How can I best serve thee? Thy will in my mind to be done. These are thoughts which must go with us constantly. We can exercise our willpower along this line. We all we wish. It is the proper use of the will. So how to use the will is try to get in alignment with my Creator's will. Treat everyone as well as they can, as culture, inside of them. Much has already been said about this, receiving strength, inspiration, and direction from Him who has all knowledge and power. If we have carefully followed directions, we have begun to sense the flow of the Spirit into us. To some extent, we have become God conscious. We have begun to develop this vital sixth sense instead of seeing, smelling, hearing, touching, tasting. It's the spiritual sense. But we must go further, and that means more action. So the 11th step is also daily action. And we'll describe it in the next few pages. Step 11 suggests praying meditation. I shouldn't be shy on this matter of prayer. Better men than we are using it constantly. It works. If I have the proper attitude, so it's conditional. If I have the proper attitude, I'm like, well, I will be done. But really trying to be of service and have the attitude to work it, it would be easy to be bad about this matter or untrue. Yet, we believe we can make some very clear, definite, and valuable suggestions to the principles. Suggestions. So you get 2 solid paragraphs on a daily plan of action. And I'm sure you do all this stuff. When I retire at night, I constructively review the day. Was I resentful? I have a word template of this that I can type in. Am I resentful, selfish, dishonest, or fixed? The same inventory. Resentment inventory. And the fear inventory. Do I owe an apology? Praise and amends. Do I have something I kept to myself that I share with my sponsor? Which should be discussed with another person at once? Was I kind and loving toward all? And that's a tough one. What could we have done better? And that could be an again. Was I thinking of myself most of the time? That's a very hard one. If we're selfish and ridiculous, we think about ourselves all the time. Or was I thinking of what I could do for others, or of what I could pack into the mainstream of life? And that's very tough. But I must be careful not to drift into worry, remorse, or morbid reflection. So don't overthink it. Get it in, get it done, and move on. Talk to sponsorship and people that for it would diminish my usefulness to others if I did think about it too much. Like I'm not being of service, thinking about myself again. After making our review, we ask God's forgiveness and inquire what corrective measures should be taken. On awakening, let us think about the 24 hours ahead. And ideally, we do this first and have the review at night. If we do this well enough, we have a little less resentment at night. But on awakening, let us think about the 24 hours ahead. I consider my plans for the day before I begin. So if I have a tough spot where I speak to my supervisor, I know it's coming up, I can prepare for it and do that room calmly. I ask God to direct my thinking, especially asking if it be divorced. If it can be divorced from self-pity, dishonest, or self-seeking motives. Under these conditions, I can employ mental faculties with assurance. For after all, God gave us brains to use. My thought life will be placed on a much higher plane when my thinking is cleared of wrong motives. Where can I be of service? Service work idea. And thinking about our day, we may face indecision. I may not be able to determine which course to take. Here, I ask God for inspiration, intuitive thought, or a decision. We relax and take it easy. We do not struggle. I'm often surprised how the right answer comes after we have tried this for a while. I don't worry for answers at this point. I give it over to my higher power, take care of things, and allow them to run their course with the idea of being of service to others. What used to be the hunch or occasional inspiration gradually becomes a working part of the mind. Still inexperienced but having just made conscious contact with God, it is not probable that we are going to be inspired at all times. We might pay for this assumption in all sorts of absurd actions and ideas. And this is the 11-step promise right here. Nevertheless, we find that our thinking will, as time passes, be more and more on the plane of inspiration. We come to rely on it, which is crazy. It's just 50 pages ago, we talked about how crazy my mind is to think my way this way. Now we're kind of getting in alignment with the will of our Creator. A prayer to end the day. We conclude the period of meditation with a prayer that we be shown all through the day. What our next step might be, and that I be given whatever I need to take care of such problems. We ask especially for freedom from self-will and careful to make no request for ourselves only. We may ask for ourselves, however, if others will be right. We are careful never to pray for our own selfish ends. Many of us waste a lot of time doing that, and it doesn't work. You can easily see why. If circumstances warrant, we ask our spouse or friends to join us in morning meditation. If we belong to a religious denomination which requires a definite morning devotion, I attend to that also. If not, members of religious bodies, we sometimes select and memorize a few set prayers which emphasize the principles we have been discussing. There are many helpful books. Also, suggestions about these may be obtained from one's priest, minister, or rabbi. Be quick to see where religious people are right, make use of whatever they offer. And the final part of the 11th step is, as we go through the day, we pause when irritated or doubtful, and we ask for the right thought or action. We constantly remind ourselves we are no longer running the show. It says here, it does not stop and think real hard on how to work on my life. So, the work does not stop. We have to keep doing it and continue to do the self-work as it helps our lives. Running the show, humbly saying to others many times each day, thy will be done. We are then in much less danger of excitement, fear, anger, worry, self-pity, or foolish decisions. We become much more efficient because we don't waste energy. We do not tire easily, for we are not burning up energy foolishly as we did when we were trying to arrange our life to suit others. That's the final promise. The 11th step. We alcoholics are undisciplined, so we let God discipline us in a simple way we have just outlined. But this is not all. There is action and more action. Faith without works is dead. The next chapter is entirely devoted to step 12, which begins chapter 7, and it goes, step 12 is continue, and the key is taking them through all these steps 1 through 11, showing them how to do it. And especially when I'm struggling, working with others comes true. This is a fact. The practical experience shows that nothing will so much ensure a new from drinking as intensive work with other alcoholics, because I'm leading out of self again. Even if it doesn't work for them and they drink again, it reminds me how I was drinking back then. It works when other activities fail. This is our 12th suggestion. Carry this message to other alcoholics. You can help when no one else can. You can secure their confidence when others fail, like doctors and psychiatrists. Remember, they are very ill. Life will take on new meaning to watch people recover, to see them help others, to watch loneliness vanish, to see a fellowship grow up about you, to have a host of friends. This experience you must not miss. We know you will not want to miss it. Frequent contact with the newcomers and with each other is the bright spot of our lives. Perhaps you are not acquainted with any drinkers who want to recover. You can easily find some by asking a few doctors, ministers, or priests, or hospitals. They will be glad to assist you. Don't start out as an evangelist or reformer. Unfortunately, a lot of prejudice exists. You will be handicapped if you arouse it. Ministers and doctors are competent. You can learn much from them if you wish, but it happens that because of your drinking experience, you can be uniquely useful to other alcoholics. So cooperate, never criticize. To be helpful is our only aim. Bear with me a second, please. The next part of it. 12 step goes on.